Hello, it's June 2015 and this is Brian Smart with another Marina D'or video diary. Sorry, the sound isn't very good. I was reading up on this. What's wrong with most amateur videos is the sound. So I thought I'll do what the professionals do. I went and bought one of these. It's a tie clip microphone. It was only a cheap one though. And on the way out here in my bag, the tie clip broke. So I've got a tiny little microphone, but I have to hold it. And now it's whistling and I don't know why. So forget about trying to do it properly. Let's go back to the old way and just use the camcorder. Right, let's move up the road a bit. Quite a few bikers when I was filming today, and the cafes were full of them and their bikes were parked around. The one I didn't show you, you've now probably seen it in my newsletter, is Brutus. Brutus is actually quite huge, but then that's a pretty appropriate thing because the food it serves is huge and the prices aren't too bad, so it's been quite popular since it opened and well worth a mention. We've mentioned the World Shops before, little units which I believe, despite their small size, cost about €1,000 a month to rent. I hope they make their money back. They're sort of expanding out onto the pavement. There are sort of marquee affairs where people are setting up bookshops, and there are people eating, drinking out on the pavement in front of World Shops as well. So the whole place is sort of growing outwards and looking busier, which is definitely a good thing. Just going back to the apartment for a minute, I was having this big clear out in my storeroom up on the 7th floor, and I put the old analogue telly, which hasn't worked for years, down by the bin, and I got back up to the apartment, looked down, and there was a guy already there taking it away. He'd gone through the bin, found a cardboard box, found some kind of strapping wire to strap it into the box, got it on his bike, and he was gone. Just didn't believe it. Within 5 minutes of me getting it down from the Trastero, bye-bye TV. Right, well, enough of sitting around the apartment, as nice as the view is down to the sea. Let's go and have a look around the resort. And first of all, let's go to the beach itself. They were digging it up big style a couple of months ago when I was here. They put it all back, I don't know what they did really, and they've grown some grasses around an area. Perhaps they were going to do the old boardwalk thing in between, who knows, it hasn't really obviously been finished yet. But if we look a bit further along on that little bit that goes from where the cocktail bar is along to the river bridge crossing, you can see that they've got a whole load of crazy paving delivered, and they're starting to put it down and create a path heading along the front there where those palm trees were wrecked and fell into the sea, if you remember that bit. They've got this sort of wooden construction and they appear to be putting crazy paving on it, which I would think is quite expensive, but I think it's going to look good too, so we look forward to that being finished. Okay, a quick look around the gardens, usual array of birds. More or less any time of year you come you seem to find ducklings and other young. The caged area where there were parrots and things now have these white fluffy hens, and there's always some young birds to look at in there as well. The peacocks are still strutting around. You can hear them from a long way away, they make a lot of noise, and they're also pretty nosy. I did catch one peering out through the railings at an electrician who was up a pole doing some wiring. And this bird just kept looking at him. Now, about this airport, people have been talking about how long it's going to take us to get from the airport down to our apartments. Well, that all depends how you travel, I suppose, whether it's a bus or a train or a hire car or whatever. Certainly wouldn't do it on your bike, not with that hill. Anyway, I was on the train coming down from Barcelona, a fairly fast train, I have to admit, and I was curious to see how close we were in time on a train travelling nearly 200 kilometres an hour. So as we passed through Torreblanca, you look over to the right, out the window there. You can't see it on the video, but that road going up to the airport is over there. Looked at the clock in the train, and it was 4 minutes to 7. Waited the 4 minutes, tick, 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 and as the clock ticked over to 7 o'clock, 4 minutes later, looked out the left-hand window, and there's my apartment. So what's been going on with these commercial units? First of all, it's worth a mention that the Marina D'or sales office that I think most of us went into to sign up for our apartments all those years ago has had a facelift. It looks really smart, and it'd be interesting to see how that develops. Then there's our blocks themselves. The commercial units, because they are now owned by the bank and Marina D'or's involvement is gone, they've been sold at better prices, more affordable. So people have taken them, and we're seeing all sorts of new places open up. Vistamar 2, there's this clothes shop, apparently Moroccan, and you can go in there also and get sandals and other stuff like that, which is what I was looking for the day I went. There's also on the same block restaurant, greengrocers and a supermarket, and of course across the road the Beota bar that so many of you in Vistamar go and have a drink in and even eat. Although I have to say about Beota, worth a mention, that as you have each drink they give you such good tapas there that you go away not really needing to eat again. Moving up to where I am in Costa Azar 1, Beef Free has been a bar that's survived all those years, just like Beota has. It's still there, but it's now got a neighbour. Another double unit's been taken next door. The Spanish name of the company translates Azahar Holiday Apartments, I think I'm right in saying. They've bought from the bank about, well, on the window it says 550 apartments at your disposal, so I guess they did a good deal with the bank, got them really cheap, and they're renting those out, and those are all in Costa Azar 2 and the Jardines blocks, which are between Costa Azar and the campsites. At the other end of Costa Azar 1, they're still working on this, but I had a look inside, didn't dare take the camera, but I stuck my head in. They've got all the stud walls up, they got the doors in, and various other bits of furniture seem to be starting to arrive, so that should be running this summer, another rental business. There are more rental businesses just across the road from here in Costa Caribe 3. You already knew about Obe because we mentioned them earlier in the year. They may have even been there last Christmas, I can't remember. Next door to them on the left is Oroga, which is a kind of, well, I don't know, what would you call it, electrical shop? Probably. In their branch in Oropesa they do a lot of LED lighting, and you can see what they do here just by looking in the window. What we're not getting at the moment is more bars and restaurants, things like that make a resort into a great holiday place. Meanwhile, back at the apartment, I'd just like to show you a couple of the bits of technology that I've been talking about in the last 12 months. First of all, the internet router. It's a cable router, bit of wire comes out the wall, known as an Ethernet cable or Cat5. You buy a cable router, I got mine from Argos for 20 quid, and the extra bit, it's wireless of course, so anything you've got that works on wireless will work now. The extra bit that I use This is a base station for a cordless phone. There's the cordless phone, there's the base station. What do you normally do with a cordless phone base station? You plug it into your landline. This particular one, you plug it into your router. Well, that's it for June 2015. See you next time.